Hello there, fellow adventurers. Time for another indie dev short, except this game is anything but short. This is Eselmir and the 5 magical gifts. So, who is Eselmir and what are these magical gifts? Well, as a brave adventurer once said, let's find out, shall we? A mysterious traveler shows up and finds an old man narrating a story to a young man in a wheelchair. The legend of King Thiessen and the magical gifts he obtained on his travels. The traveler butts in and starts telling his own story of Eselmir, a priest of Manusad, the god of time, whose highest virtue is patience. Well, we're going to need a lot of patience to get through this game, as it's longer than the Endless Desert in King's Quest V. I should point out that the developer Stellax Software gave me a key for this game, as well as a photo of game designer Stefano Maccarinelli standing in front of Neuschwanstein Castle, as featured in Gabriel Knight 2 The Beast Within. My experience visiting the castle wasn't quite the same though. Anyway, getting back to the game, our patience-loving god tells us what gifts we're looking for.
The golden bee, the mirror, the flute, the basket, and the sword.
Sounds like King's Quest 1, except that was 3 great treasures. The magic mirror, the shield, and the chest. Let's start our mission right away, there's no time to waste. Or we could just go back to sleep. What a weird dream, reminds me of those Magic Eye pictures. Finally, Eselmir gets his priestly butt out of bed and we can explore his homeland of Lothriel. This includes the temple where we find statues of all the gods, which are as numerous as this corridor is long, but there's no running allowed in the temple.
That's right, I'll run as much as I like. You can't stop me. Whatever, I do what I want.
Then there's the library where we can read up on the history of King Thiessen, not forgetting to return the books before we leave, of course. This is good practice, especially when you take a book of prophecies that causes earthquakes and threatens the destruction of the land. Maybe I should just return this library book. What the hell? Before we can venture outside, we first need to practice fighting with our martial arts master. The mechanics of combat is to click the fight button when the pointer is in the green area. Once we've completed our Matrix-style training and done all we need to do in Lothriel, like picking up stuff for the journey such as... well, literally stuff for the journey, we're ready to face the wide world outside. On our travels we encounter various peoples and creatures, not all of whom are friendly. Some creatures are invisible, but we can use a magical lens to make them appear, which is an optional side quest like finding all the horned toads. There's also some Easter eggs, the first of which can be found back in Lothriel. This scene is actually from the developer's first game called Misteri di Maggia, which is made up of real-life photos in the style of the Cowra Reed games. It's only in Italian language, but I can still enjoy the scenery and watch some traditional Italian TV. Being a priest of Lothriel, Eselmir has the highest morals and always strives to do good. He's the kind of guy who will rescue a cat from a well or help a lady with her cooking. This is also a good example of the high fantasy style dialogue, the game being an adaptation of the Pirin books by Sebastiano B. Brocchi. This lady's husband used to be a champion of Holmelier, a sport in which you throw a crystal ball from one player to the other, and the objective is to reach the center without dropping it. Oh well, never mind, good thing we saved just before this, although there's only 6 save slots. 6? Only 6? What is this, Terminator for NES where you only get 6 lives? This game has a good variety of puzzles. You've got your good old fetch quests like collecting ingredients, moving things into the correct position to make something happen, and pushing buttons in the correct order. One time when I was doing this, a mini Eselmir appeared in the background and walked into the scene. Maybe he was sent to help us solve the puzzle, or maybe this is just some weird glitch. Inventory puzzles are made easy by the correct items being automatically selected when you're able to use them, which for hardcore adventurers like myself takes a lot of the challenge out of it. The main focus of the game though is the story, and Eselmir has more stories that you can shake a purple tentacle at. Now I don't mind some good exposition and storytelling, but this game really goes one step beyond. There's numerous times when a character will stop and tell you their backstory that goes on, and on, and on, and Ariston.
From Italia to Britain, Ariston, and on.
This can really slow the gameplay down. For example, you'll be in the middle of a battle and have a lengthy discussion with a soldier whether he should spare his enemy's life, or facing a ferocious beast and philosophizing about why this is all happening. One part where I thought this was well integrated into the gameplay is this maze, where we first read about the characters that we're about to meet, and of course we must help them like the patient priest we are. There's definitely some influence from Lord of the Rings, and there's even a Dark Lord, but when I came face to face with them, it gave me an error message. What the? Eh? Huh? Oh, I get it. It was just a test to see if I'd give up. I bet it fooled some players into thinking it was real though, which would be a shame as Eselmir is definitely worth playing. It's an epic quest that will take you many hours to complete, and even when you think it's over, there's still more adventuring to be had. For a small development team, this is a great achievement, and I really appreciate the attention to detail, and nice touches such as the menu screen that changes depending on which location you're at. After the end credits, it tells you how many achievements you've unlocked, as well as the number of left and right mouse clicks. That's a lot of clicks. Maybe I should just return this library book. What the hell?